Welcome back to Real Estate 101. Today we're going to continue our discussion on home staging, and our topic today is going to be spending wisely with home staging, and I'm pleased to be joined once again by Michelle Finnamore of Michelle Finnamore Interiors. Michelle, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Joe. Glad to be here.
So Michelle, you know, sometimes home sellers, you know, they pay a lot of money to have their home decorated, and they don't see or don't think there's a value of return. How do you go about justifying a cost for them in terms of home staging?
Well, first of all, we like to use the word invest. They're actually investing in their home. They have invested enough money already, that's their feeling, and they really don't want to be doing anything else to their home. But really, if it's too particular a theme or too loud a color or their cabinets are not updated, then they really should think about investing a little bit of money so that they get a larger return on their investment. We do want them to get the most money for their house. I haven't seen a home seller yet that didn't want to list the highest on the street because they thought their house was the best. And so it's our job as professional home stagers to walk through the home with them, do the consultation, point out things that could be done in an inexpensive way to help them reach their potential largest amount of money that they could get for their house.
All right. Now, sellers are always telling me too, you know, that buyers can choose their own paint colors, their own carpets, rugs, and stuff. How do you go about, again, justifying to them that maybe certain improvements that they make may actually help sell their house more quickly and for more money?
That's right. They are very, very concerned that they're going to make a mistake. And so that's another reason why you have a professional home stager come in. We'll help you make those decisions. Simple things like changing out the hardware on a kitchen cabinet. They may be very dated kitchen cabinets, but you can upgrade the hardware typically for about $40 to $50. Very inexpensive upgrade, and it's something that they can do themselves. Our company does offer the service of handling those things, but definitely they can do that on their own. The other thing would be typically we'll go into an older home and they'll have dark green arborite or Formica countertops. Well, that just isn't going to fly in today's market. So we'll paint them. If they don't have the money for the granite to go in, we will find a way to make it look better so buyers will say yes. And that's all we're after, is getting the buyer to say yes. We want to take away as many of the objections as we can and get those boxes with check marks in instead of X's.
So sellers will, they'll tell me, buyers can pick their own paint colors, tile, light fixtures. How can a professional home stager help them make those decisions?
Okay, that's a good question, Joe. We do a consultation with them. We actually try and find the least expensive routes to go all the time. It really depends on the price point of the house, but a simple change out of cabinet hardware in a kitchen can cost $40 to $50. So that's a reasonable investment to make old cabinets appear more current and really helps with the sale of the house. Other than that, we'll paint a countertop instead of actually replacing it with granite. Again, it depends on the price point of the house, but we will always work with that client and figure out a way to make it happen for them, that the investment is not out of their budget to make it happen.
So Michelle, in your professional opinion, what are the 3 most important things home sellers can do when they're preparing their home for the real estate market?
Okay, Joe, that's a good question. Number one thing, hands down, is paint. Paint is the least expensive thing you can do to make the biggest change in the look of the house. First impressions count. With buyers, they come in and we have to have a nice neutral color on the wall, and there are specific ones that we use. Our association does work with a paint company and they give us a list of colors that are the most popular chosen for that year. We determine as professional stagers which ones we're going to use in a particular property. From there, we definitely want to see them do the paint job because it does make the house look brand new. If they are comparing to a brand new home, the price point is approximately the same. We want it to look fresh and clean, and when buyers come in, the first impression is an excellent one with them.
Right. And what would be the second best thing that sellers can do that would really have a big impact?
Second best thing would be updating the light fixtures. Light fixtures are like the jewelry in a home, so you definitely want to have them current. If they are older, we can do many different price points of replacing light fixtures. So people get a little nervous when they hear that they want to replace the light fixtures, especially chandeliers, but you should be doing it, and we do find price points for everyone. We have an electrician that will come in quickly, and they do it at a good rate for them, as they know they're moving, they're not staying, and they come in and do that out for them very quickly. The third thing would be that you do want to change them out because it does dramatically affect the look of the house. So even if the cabinets are older, you can put in new light fixtures, and it does help to update it very quickly, and that's why we suggest that you do the lighting.
And is there anything else that homeowners can do that impacts, the sale price or the time on the market?
Absolutely. The last thing I would suggest, if they can do it at all, is to do the flooring. The flooring takes up such a large square footage in the home, and it really sets the tone for a house. Even when we're designing houses for staging to stay, it is the floor that you start with because it determines what the house is going to look like. So when the buyer comes in the front door, they want to see something that is updated, that's clean. And when you have old carpet, things like that, it's not going to go over very well with buyers. They do want to see where it is shiny, and wood floor does that for you every single time. So there are places that you can get hardwood flooring installed very inexpensively from, and we do give you those referrals so that it's an easy step for you to make. You do not have to go out and look for all these things on your own. We're there as professional stager with all the referrals, all the trades for you to call, and they will come right away, usually within 24 hours, and take care of these things for you.
So I work with investors and house flippers. Do you have a specific process in place to work with these specific clients?
We do, and it's really, really important. We should actually be an accounting line in their budget for doing that house. What happens is they're working on very, very short timelines. It's not like a homeowner that may be there for 20 years, 15 years, and they have time for the house to accumulate value in itself. When you're having an investor or a flipper and they are choosing finishes, we go with them to the supplier. We go first to the house and we make up a plan. Who's the target buyer? Go to the supplier, theirs or ours, and we put together within 2 hours all the finishes that go into that home. And then that becomes their brand as well, that people get to know them. If they are flipping in a particular neighborhood,
right,
they know to look forward to this house because this person has done it. And if it's an investor, they're buying new condos, then we go with them to their builder decor selection appointment, and we help them. We do two things for them. We actually keep them on budget because it's really easy to get carried away when you're picking all those finishes out. It's a pretty exciting time and you're dreaming a little bit, but you really do have to pick finishes that will sell in the end. You're working that you're going to probably move that house out of your investment portfolio within a few short years, and you want to make sure that you're going to get your money out for all those upgrades. That's right, and so it's so important that you get that return.
So sometimes I have vacant homes that I've listed, and buyers that come through, they're having a tough time visualizing themselves living in that home that's vacant. How do you handle that?
Well, it's a very tricky thing because most people can't visualize what something's going to look like. So by putting rental furniture in, we actually can give them something to use as a guide. Is their dining room table bigger or smaller than this table? Do they have a king bed or a queen? This way they can actually see whether this house is for them or this condo. Here in the market that we're in, there's some very small square footage condos, and we want to make sure that when you're taking the time to take these people through, that you actually are providing them with the tools that they need to actually make a decision and buy that property. So again, we're trying to get them to check off all the boxes on their must-have list, and we do that by using rental furniture. It depends on the price point of the house. We actually have different types of furniture that we can bring in, and that usually does the trick. They usually sell very quickly once they've been staged with rental furniture.
So for today's final question, are there any current stats that show a comparison between properties being sold that are staged and properties that are vacant?
Absolutely. Once a year they release a survey, and it is nationwide. They have come out with that it takes 17% longer to sell a home that is vacant, and they sell for 16% less. So there's a really good reason to stage your home with rental furniture, and that figure will help people make an educated decision to decide to stage, and they really need to have that information to move forward and feel comfortable doing it. And our company has very good stats for these types of things, and we were recently awarded top 10 stager in Canada. So we love to come out there and do a consultation for your clients and make sure they're getting the best advice.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much for coming on today's show.
Well, thank you for having us. As we like to say, staging is always less than the first price reduction.
All right. If anybody has any more questions or would like a fabulous home staging experience, they can get in contact with Michelle Finnamore, the go-to girl of home staging. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Joe Terceira, and we'll see you next time.